What's going on, HPP fam? Welcome back to another episode. I'm picking up the camera late because that's when I've been dicking around with this Evo. But we found a problem with the Evo. He changed some intercooler piping and some other stuff, so the car should be making more power. We've already made some runs and it did not make more power, and it was progressively making less. So we broke out the boost leak tester and we did find there was a bolt missing on the back side of the turbo's housing, the cover, and it was leaking boost out of there. So I had a precision turbo laying around, grabbed a bolt out of that. We got this thing cooled off, put the bolt in there, and we've already made a rip. I'm not gonna show you the numbers because we're gonna make one more and see if this thing will crack 1,000 wheels. So stick with us, stay tuned. Okay guys, as you can see, the Evo is not here anymore. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make that last pull. The car started having a wiring electrical issue with the cam sync. So we went ahead and decided to call it. He pulled the car off. He has since taken it home to figure out what's going on with that. So unfortunately, we did not get to see our 1,000 horsepower run. We got really close on the run before I started filming. So let me show you guys what it made on the pull before. Ooh, look at that mountain. Look like a titty. Anyways, 979 horsepower, 667 foot-pounds of torque. And obviously it looks like it was spinning a little bit. And as you can see, we played a little bit of musical cars this morning as well too. So I have no doubt in my mind that Evo will make 1,000 horsepower. We fixed a big boost leak on it and it was making some steam. So hopefully we'll see it back fixed here soon. Soon. In the meantime, we're getting started on our Hellcat here that's got a leaky oil cooler. So Gio's working on taking the front bumper off, gain access to that core, so we get that changed and the lines changed out and get this Evo fixed. But in the meantime, the big project that we've got going on this week is Bandito 345's Challenger. This thing is getting a major transformation as far as she's going boosted. So finally, with all the badass looks and the Lambo doors and the cool wrap and the lights and everything else that this car has got going for it as far as looking pretty, she's now going to be going fast. Or at least decently fast. We're not looking to set any world records with this thing because it is staying stock bottom end, but it is getting a decent sized turbo and it should make 500 plus horsepower, which will make this thing a dream to drive and a ton of fun. So join us as we convert this thing. We're doing injectors, map sensor, taking the BBK headers off, putting a set of 6.4 Hemi headers on, fuel pump, and the ECU has already been unlocked, so we don't have to do that. But let's go ahead and dive in, get rocking and rolling on this one. So guys, we started their teardown and we got some stuff out of the way. We still need to get a few more things out of the way to include this reservoir, but I went ahead and pulled the fuel rails out so we can get these FIC 1000cc injectors installed. This is what's going to be fueling this Hemi. Closer and closer. So I've already got the 3-bar map sensor installed. Already have the FIC injectors installed. Now we're gonna go ahead and we'll probably get this coolant drained and get this reservoir off, but I'm gonna go ahead and go after these spark plugs because you know we gotta gap them down because we were gonna be boosting this thing. So stock gap's like 50 thou, so we're gonna go ahead and drop that down to about 22 and put spark plugs back in and keep moving forward with this Johnny and see where we end up. Moving right along, as you can see guys, we've got the radiator out of this thing, and that's because it's getting a Mishimoto radiator along with a Mishimoto intercooler core. So went ahead and got all this stuff out of the way, And we got some red hoses. He's gonna get the Mishimoto lower, but the upper, questionable, because we got to do some changes with the coolant system. But let's go ahead and go grab the radiator and get that situated so we can get it installed on the car. As you can see, one BBK header is about to fall down out of that thing, and then we'll get the one on the other side. Guys, we've been making hella progress, so let me show you what we've got. New alternator install. That is pretty red unit. We're in the process of getting these Mishimoto lower radiator hose installed, because we will be able to use this one with the new turbo kit. And then our headers are finished up, and we have a turbo crossover pipe on. Unfortunately, it is coming back off, but it's on there, and it's coming back off because that's no bueno. The O2, upstream O2, is right up against this pipe. It will not live. We're gonna have to move it. So we're probably gonna relocate it right in here somewhere. Hopefully it's not too turbulent. We really don't have much choice, but it can't live there. So we're gonna make that change, and then we'll put this back up. But in the meantime, we are gonna get the Mishimoto radiator installed, and then we'll keep going from there. She is coming right along. So, guys, I have since fixed the crisis. I have moved the O2 to right there, welded a new bung out, and plugged the other hole. So, crisis averted. Cross pipe is on, tight. Now we can work on getting the turbo mounted up. And as you can see, that Mishimoto is in there. Got a few little things to wrap up with it, but she's coming right along. Coming right along. Man, guys, the shop is absolutely cheeks right now. It is jacked up. But fortunately, I think we've got HR Scat's car pretty much situated. It did not mess up at all yesterday, so we're going to put it all back together, do some more testing. The old Red Rocket is moving right along. As you can see, it looks more complete than it ever has. We've got the entire Holley harness ran inside the car, minus the drive-by-wire cable. It's got coolant in it. It's got oil lines. It's getting really freaking close, and I am super excited about hopefully firing this thing up here in the next couple of days or weeks. And I say that because I'm waiting on the switch panel for this car, which has a 6-week lead time. We've already been waiting 3 weeks. So, can I get the Holley wired and fired up without that? Yes, and most likely that is what's going to happen. But we are getting very close. Same with Alfonso's. It's getting very close. Just got to finish basically wiring that bundle and some power and grounds and some wires inside the cabin, and this thing will fire up on Holley as well too. Banditos. We got stuff everywhere. Well, we're rocking and rolling on it. This thing is getting really close as well. I want to start making intercooler pipes here shortly. I got to get a lot of this wiring out of the way. This thing still needs a drain line, intercooler piping, and a few other odds and ends. But it's getting fairly close as well too. It is Wednesday, so let's see how far we get. Picking up the camera a little later today. I have been working hard. I'm trying to get Banditos as far as I can, as fast as I can. Today is Wednesday, and we're looking pretty good, but we've run into a few snags. I just finished welding the last intercooler pipe section up. As you can see, not too shabby. We still got to weld the blow-off valve on, but check it out, boys. Got an intercooler hanging. Got some charge pipe action going on. This side's all wrapped up, minus I gotta put the blow-off valve in somewhere. But, yeah. That's as close as I can to make this thing one piece on this side. I would really love to not have that coupler there, but you just kind of have to. There's no way you can snake that much pipe in without having the whole car apart. So, for service reasons, I make it that way. This one's one piece from the turbo to the unicore. So, I'll let that cool off, get that installed with clamps, and then I'll be pretty much done with charge pipe, minus the IET and the blow-off valve. We're on the final list of things to do. The shop is an absolute wreck. And look, Gio's back. We've got to cut our tubes, but I welded the O2 bong in and extended the pipe back down. So now we can cut those off level, because obviously that far down is going to be too short or too long, because he airs this thing out on the ground. And then I've got the vacuum lines ran for the wastegate. That's connected. I'll show you guys that here in a second. I think we're ready to go back down. And then, oh, let me show you guys real quick as it's coming down. We've got our drain line mounted. So we got our fitting in there. And then we got it going up to our turbocharger. We just got to get the clamp tightened on that, and then put the downpipe back in there. We've got our hose clamps on our upper radiator, and we'll get our cooler pipe back in here once I figure out where the IET is going and the blow-off valve. So that way I can get those welded. Well, the blow-off valve welded, drill a hole for the intake air temp sensor. And Gio is working on getting the wiring situated for our wideband. So we're going to get after that stuff, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Guys, it is time. It is the moment of truth. We are going to start Bandito's turbo car up for the first time. The injector data is in, fuel pump is in, and everything is together. Minus the front bumper needs a heck of a lot of trimming to get that massive intercooler in. But we can deal with that tomorrow. Gio's in the cab. We've got our blow-off valve. We've got our intake air temp sensor. Let's fire this thing up for the first time. Gio, strike the key, baby. Let's go. Burning the fingers and grease off of it. It is officially up and running. Well, boys, it has been quite an eventful morning, and look who's joined us, the man himself. We're here. Bandito's here, and we are getting the front end wrapped up on this car. As you can see, we have opted to take the grill out and let that Mishimoto intercooler shine. Hanging out the front of the car with Gio's sexy but thin legs. It looks like he's made of skip leg day. But we've got it in there, and it looks good. The M showing. I like it. They're getting the front end bolted up, and we found a solution to our fuel pump issue. So we're going to get a Walbro 400 liter an hour pump drop-in system set up inside of the car. And then we'll start strapping this thing down and make some power pulls there shortly, because this thing's pretty much wrapped up. Just kind of recap, we've got FIC 1000cc injectors. We've got a VS Racing 7865 or 7876. Do you remember what it is? It's a 78mm turbocharger. All that matters. We've got a 50mm VS Racing wastegate on here with, I'm assuming, a 10-pound spring. Don't know yet. 4 Mishimoto 4 Well, it does have a Mishimoto radiator and a Mishimoto intercooler.
Yeah, that's
Um,
just hitting it real slow.
and then, yeah. That's about it. We already trimmed the exhaust so that way it doesn't hit or touch anything. You can kind of see it down in there. And we haven't tested and actually aired the car all the way out, but that is not the lowest point on the car, so we will be just fine. But as soon as we come back from lunch, we'll get the pump in it, we'll get it strapped down, and we'll see if this thing makes some turbo noises. What do you say?
It's time.
It's time? Okay. So guys, that's gonna do it for Bandito's car. Unfortunately, the wastegate spring is 5 psi, so all we can make was 5 psi, and that's fine. He's gonna get a boost controller. Still got some other modifications to go through on the car, but we got everything for this first phase complete. So on 5 pounds of boost, this thing is making 465 horsepower, 523 foot-pounds of torque. Nice clean looking graph. Solid air fuel ratio, and we've got her sitting outside. And I'll give you guys a little final walk around before he hits the road. Next time you guys see this car will be at Mopar Heaven. It'll have the wheels that are supposed to be on it, the front end will be wrapped, and it'll have this thing the way it's supposed to look with everything back on it. But as you can see, we got the boost, baby. But that is gonna do it for this week's episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.